I got home earlier than expected and caught my brother talking to my wife in hushed tones. "We need to forge the papers fast and cut him out completely," he whispered. I slipped away unnoticed, returning later, shaken to my core. I never thought I'd share something like this online. Betrayals this dramatic belong in movies, don't they? Deceptions by those you trust most. I used to think such things were pure fiction. That changed a month ago when reality hit me hard. It all started with my brother, Ethan. He was always the family's troublemaker, reckless with cash, hopping between jobs, always seeking the easy way out. Last year he hit rock bottom. Buried in debt, evicted, credit cards maxed out. He called me, voice trembling, saying he had nowhere to go. Against my better judgment, I opened my home to him. At first, I didn't mind. Family helps family, right? I let him stay without rent, covered his bills, even gave him pocket money when he asked. When his car broke down, I footed the repair bill. I thought it was a temporary fix that he'd get back on his feet. What I didn't realize was his plan to settle in for good. I was married to Claire, my partner of 5 years, wed for 3. Our connection felt unshakable. We had our spats over money, stress, small things, but her loyalty never crossed my mind. She was stunning with dark hair, always polished and poised. I felt lucky to have her. I thought we were solid. Then one evening, everything fell apart. I came home early, planning to treat Claire to a surprise dinner. The house was quiet, but voices floated from the dining room. Ethan and Claire, something about their tone felt wrong. I was about to call out when Ethan's words stopped me cold. "We need to fake the documents now and get him out of the way." My heart raced. Fake what? Get rid of who, me? Then Claire spoke. "Once it's done, he won't be a problem anymore." I crept closer, pulse hammering, and peeked around the corner. What I saw turned my stomach. Claire wrapped her arms around Ethan's shoulders. He pulled her close, hands on her hips. Then they kissed, long and familiar, like it wasn't their first time. My breath caught. My wife, my brother. The two I trusted above all. I wanted to barge in, throw Ethan out, yell at Claire until my voice broke. But I held back. Instead, I backed away silently, left the house, and drove off. I didn't know their full plan, but one thing was clear. They thought they had me cornered. They were wrong. I drove aimlessly, hands clenched on the wheel. My brother, my wife, scheming together. I couldn't lose it. I needed a strategy. First, I protected my money. I logged into our shared bank account. Claire had access, and I'd stupidly given Ethan limited control over my savings. The funds were still there, but for how long? I moved everything to a new account, leaving just enough to avoid raising flags. Then I thought of Ethan's car, a classic Chevy he loved but couldn't maintain. I'd paid for its repairs. Not anymore. I drove to the garage. The mechanic, Tom, nodded at me. "Almost ready," he said. "Finish it tonight," I told him, slipping him extra cash. An hour later, the car was done. I took the keys, slid into the driver's seat, and let my anger simmer. Then I drove home, blared the horn, and watched Claire and Ethan step outside, bewildered. I grabbed a crowbar from the trunk and smashed the Chevy in front of them, neighbors watching. Metal crumpled, windows shattered. Claire screamed. Ethan lunged forward, furious. "Get your stuff and go," I demanded. They argued, but I tossed their belongings into bags and dumped them on the lawn. 10 minutes or I call the cops." They left. I thought that was the end. I was mistaken. 3 days later, they came back, grinning, waving forged papers claiming my house was theirs. They'd mimicked my signature. I recorded their smug confession, then called my attorney and a police friend. The proof was clear: fraud, forgery, theft. Within days, the police hauled them away. The trial was quick. Ethan, the main forger, got years behind bars. Claire, despite her sob story, wasn't let off. I took back my house and money, but the betrayal lingered. Then came letters and calls. Claire, full of remorse, Ethan begging for aid. I ignored them. They'd made their bed. Now they'd lie in it. Just when I thought the ordeal was done, life threw another curve. A week after dismissing Claire's letter and Ethan's plea, a new envelope arrived, stamped from the prison. My hands shook as I opened it, expecting more excuses or lies. Instead, Claire's words chilled me. "You think you're safe? You don't know what's coming." Scrawled at the bottom, "Check your mailbox tomorrow, you'll see." I crushed the paper, mind spinning. What could she do from prison? Was this a bluff or something worse? The next day, I approached my mailbox cautiously. Inside was a plain envelope, no sender, just my address in the same rough handwriting. I ripped it open. A photo fell out, a recent shot of my house from the street. On the back, a note: "Windows watch, doors listen, rest easy." My gut churned. Someone had been stalking my home. But who? Ethan and Claire were locked up. Did they have an accomplice? I called my cop friend Mike right away. "Meet me at the station," he said after hearing me out. "Bring it all." At the precinct, Mike studied the letter and photo. His face grew serious. This isn't just a scare tactic. It's a threat. He pulled up Claire's prison file. She's in isolation for starting a fight. No visitors, no calls except her lawyer. Then he paused. But here's something. He showed me the screen. Ethan had been moved to a high-security prison. He tried bribing a guard, Mike said. Claimed he had contacts who could handle things. My heart pounded. What contacts? Mike leaned forward. That's what we're digging into. That night I triple-checked my locks. Passing the front window, I caught a glimpse of movement outside. A dark shape stood across the street, barely lit by a street lamp. I froze. They were just staring. I grabbed my phone to call Mike, eyes fixed on the figure. But as the call connected, the shadow vanished into the night. Mike arrived fast, his patrol car sweeping the area. No trace of the watcher. You're not staying here tonight, he insisted. I grabbed a bag and left, but one thought haunted me. This wasn't over. The next morning, Mike called with news. We traced a call from Ethan's prison line. He reached out to an old buddy, Leo. My stomach dropped. Leo, Ethan's ex-cellmate, a hustler with a rap sheet for scams and threats. He's out now, Mike added. And he was seen near your street 2 days ago. It all clicked. Ethan and Claire had hired Leo to torment me to keep me on edge. But they'd misjudged me. With Mike's help, we set a trap. I pretended to leave town while police watched my house. Sure enough, Leo showed up, sneaking toward my porch with a tire iron. Cops nabbed him on the spot. Under questioning, he folded fast. Ethan promised me money to mess with you, he confessed. Said you had it coming. The police added conspiracy charges to Ethan and Claire's sentences. Leo, facing his own charges, spilled everything. Months later, the courts issued restraining orders. Ethan's sentence grew longer. Claire's appeal failed. Leo, for his testimony, got a reduced sentence but was still locked away for years. I sold the house. Too many ghosts, too much pain. I relocated to a new place, somewhere they'd never track me. Sometimes I still check over my shoulder at night. Habits linger. But for the first time in ages, I rest easy. This time, I made sure they lost for good. If this story moved you, please give it a like, share it with others, and follow for more real-life tales. Your support keeps these stories coming. Thank you, and I'll catch you in the next one.